Good morning. Today is October 25th, 2024. And yesterday we had an inside day. No charts. What's happening? Oh, sorry. Hold on 1 second. Thank you, Joe. All right, you see now? Okay. All right, so I was saying that we had an inside day yesterday, as you can see, and we had a bullish imbalance that is just getting repaired. Usually when you have an inside day, you try to go with the break of the previous day. It sucks when it happens overnight because it could happen when we're sleeping, unless you're in Europe. But it is what it is, and I still look at this whole thing as a look below and fail. Yesterday I was mentioning that we had a low volume node here, 5850, and we kept trading back and forth through it. So what I started thinking at one point was that I was using this as kind of like the line on the sand, long above, short below. But then when I saw that we kept trading back and forth, I was like, okay, well, maybe we're expanding this range, filling up that area, and then this is gonna be kind of like the new range with support around this area right here, where we have this low volume area. You can see we have a buying tail here, we have the breakout, we have another buying tail here. So this is obviously, it was just a 1, 2, 3, 4 times and it's holding. So I'm thinking that we're gonna go back to the top of the range still. There's a little bit of resistance in this area between 58.75 and 58.82 ish. I'm gonna put this in red so we know it's resistance. This doesn't mean that today we're gonna go back to the top of the range, but it means that within the next few days I'm expecting that what should happen should be that we test this area back again. I'm saying should because nothing is certain, obviously, in the markets, and the same sellers that took this down, they could still have inventory and push it down once again. And so the scenarios would be that we fill this area with volume and then eventually go back up, or that we still find sellers here and then this becomes kind of like a double distribution. So that's a possibility too. So I know what I think, and I know what when to change my narrative if I see certain things, right? I'm not stuck with it. And obviously we have this area still that's a little bit has a little bit of poor structure, that we might just fill this with volume 2. The point of control for the 20 days is still at 58.87, so wouldn't be surprised if we retest that at least maybe today, if we break Wednesday's high. So we're opening inside Wednesday's range but outside yesterday's range with a RTH gap. So the first thing that I'm going to be looking at is, do we come back and test yesterday's high and then bounce and keep going, or do we just go for it and just break this high and go to the 20-day point of control, which we might see some sellers there, but if we are able to hold it and go above it, then I'm going to look for this high volume node up here. which is 59.08-ish. If we get back inside the range, then I'm gonna be looking for one of those value area rules. We're accepting inside yesterday's value will likely bring us to value yesterday's value area low, which is at 58.42 and change, 58.42 and a half. And then, below that, then we're trading in the spike of yesterday, and we have this elongated profile from Wednesday that it already got tested. So if we test this again, I would say that that's variation more likely to attempt to test the 5800s again. If we break below this low, the target becomes 57.85. But so far I don't think that's going to be the case. Well, we'll see, because lately we've been getting a lot of selling right from the open. So let's see what happens with the order flow. NQ, it's a little more. It's a nicer distribution, less of a poor structure right now. And you can clearly see where value is, right? It's very clear. So I'm looking for this area right here, which is 520, which is value area high for this whole range, where we are likely to see some resistance with 520 and 540. And then if we get above that and are able to hold, then I'm gonna be looking for 635 eventually. Okay, that's it. Did you see this chart? Oh no, I wasn't sure. Hold on. My streaming software, for some reason, it loses my setup. So I have a setup where when I click on this chart, it just does this and it shows the chart, but sometimes it just loses it for some reason. So I was saying that right here, 520. So this is the nicer distribution. 520 to 540, we're gonna have a little bit of resistance. So I'm looking for that. And if we break that, then 635-ish is the target. Okay, crude oil. Crude oil. Give me 1 second. Same thing with crude. So crude yesterday did what I pointed out that we were breaking this highs, and then that 70.05 was going to be the target, and then we came there pretty quickly. Then we have a B-shaped profile, right? Like, meaning that sellers couldn't keep selling and put a selling access to the downside, and we keep coming back up to this area. This area keeps being support, and keeps rejecting whenever we get there. So I'm looking for this. You can see that we have all these areas with high volume between 71.25 and 71.80. I'm looking for this area to be retested, and then an attempt to test above the 20-day moving average again, and see if we can finally break above this and then go back to the 72.60 area. But again, if we cannot get above this, then this is gonna be a magnet. This is where value is right now, and we're likely gonna come back to 70.05. And last but not least, gold, which hasn't really changed much. We hit that upper target, and if we keep putting enough volume here at 57.54, then the 20-day point of control, which is down here, should move up here soon. If we test it today, it'll probably shift today. I just wanted to also point out that the yearly and the week and the monthly VWAPs are down here, together with the 21 and the 20 EMA. So we need to keep holding this so that this moving averages and the VWAPs catch up, and because otherwise eventually we're gonna pull back into it, and because this move was pretty quick, a pretty large move, so it needs a little bit of consolidation here. So that's it. Trade in the same range. All right, today's Friday. Next week, so we have 4 more trading days of October, and actually let's look at the seasonality for the last few days of October. So historically speaking, the last few days are bullish, especially October 28th, statistically speaking. So we might see what I was talking about, which is a move to the upper side of this range. So you can see, I'm gonna show you here. This is a chart that I made for seasonality, and this is for SPX, and this is a daily average for the last 20 years. You can see that the last few days are bullish generally. This week tends to be not much of a mover. Let's see the last 5 years. Let's see what happens. Still have the last 4 days, historically speaking, are all up days. 26 and 27 down days, but this year is weekend. So we'll see what happens today. But we're in a seasonal bullish period, and November is typically a very bullish month. And end of the month usually is pretty bullish, so I'm bullish. All right, have a good one. Good luck. See you around.